Finding you've been cut off from your child, perhaps it's after separation, divorce, or maybe it's before you've actually formally separated. Feeling cut off, not feeling cut off, you have been cut off from your child. You're not having access to your child. Post-separation divorce, it's quite common for arguments, fights to build, and then children starting to make decisions not to see a parent. Or children starting to hear that they're caught up in the fight and hear negatives about one parent. And it might be easier even for a child to decide just to stay with one parent and not the other. There are many things that can be done to assist people, but doing it on your own is not a good plan. So you might require something to actually prevent harm, further harm. You might require children's aid or police intervention or legal intervention to address the situation right off the bat. There are things we can do to prevent further alienation as well. That might be a court order, something that asks parents to get into cooperative parenting coaching, co-parenting coaching. It's not easy to develop a co-parenting approach post-separation. So coaching is something that I encourage everyone to find an experienced coach to assist you with this process. There's also the treatment aspect. Then what is the treatment, or what does coaching even entail? We call our program the Cooperative Parenting Reunification Program, or CPR, which also stands for cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Many times after separation, divorce, and even before, negative views about the other person, finger pointing, yelling, blaming, start to build up. The child gets caught up in that anger, anxiety, tension, and people can even lose energy and become depressed. So you've been cut off. It's normal to be depressed, to be cut off from a loved one. And not many of us thought, hey, I'll grow up someday, get married, have a child or have children, and then wreck it. So this is not on you. This is not on your co-parent. This is part of the world we live in life, and some of the supports we didn't get, or maybe we had bad advice at some point. Remember to put yourself outside of the equation. The problem is the problem. You're not the problem, personally. That helps to go a long way in the treatment process. And then with coaching, we get together with parents separately at first, sometimes online at first, talking about how you can have a healthy co-parenting relationship, how you can change the communication. And really, it does mean change it from the blaming, finger pointing, and negativity about the other person toward a more respectful, polite, encouraging way of thinking, feeling, and behaving toward that other person. Then there can also be some opportunity to get interventions that help the other person start to open up toward more shared, equal shared parenting. Equal shared parenting is actually a prevention program, and it's a process whereby the child then sees both parents are wonderful, both parents have access, they get to play with both parents and be instructed and guided by both parents. So the separation divorce process alone is enough to get people fighting and blaming and finger pointing, and then it leads to things like parental alienation. So yes, parental alienation is a real thing. The World Health Organization was on the verge of calling it domestic violence. I would refer to it as domestic violence. However, we also need an enforcement component here. At some point, we need a swift, firm, and fair response so that children aren't caught in the middle for these 2 years, 3 years, 5 years like we're seeing today. Ways to support both parents at continuing or developing even an improved cooperative parenting or co-parenting approach that will bring down the stress, reduce the tension, increase politeness and friendliness across the gap between two homes. Geographically, that's challenging as well. So a lot of strategies you can use to help you develop a co-parenting approach. It's not something that I'd wait on though. I'd get it done right away so that you can help your child or children get up and out of this caught in the middle feeling. Well, I remember one family coming in, they'd fought for close to 7 years in court, and the children were now struggling with mental health issues, struggling with their education, struggling at home. And they came in, were really apprehensive, really not sure if they should get some coaching on this. And what did we do? We taught them about systems. The family's a system. You're interconnected by rules, roles, patterns of talking and communication. And the emotional intensity is stronger in a family than any other human system. So that emotional intensity, as well as rules and roles, we can start to bring down the emotional intensity by tweaking patterns of communication, tweaking the roles, who's doing what, when, where, and how, making sure that you're getting information back and forth. Once that family had about 8 or 10 meetings, they'd actually started developing a calm, relaxed approach to co-parenting. And the mom looks at me and said, if you hadn't taught us about systems and how we're all connected, I don't think we'd have gotten this far so fast. And I said to her, well, you had to buy in. You had to adopt the idea. We really are all connected. You know this. One family member has an issue, it affects everyone. So if there's tension in your body and there's tension in the other person's body, if there's tension in co-parents, there's tension in the children's lives. You'll know you've successfully and effectively solved this when you're feeling more balanced emotionally and relationally. Thanks again for having the courage. What's the prize going to be? You do this, you actually work on this. There's a book called Cooperative Parenting and Divorce. But when you and your co-parent work on this, you know the prize already. More calm, relaxed, more energy. It actually helps people save a lot of money and time as well. And then you can have healthier relationships, and your child benefits by having access to both parents. Both parents' input, feedback, guidance, and love. Thanks again for even seeking support. Does parental alienation exist? Sure does. There are signs and symptoms we could talk about. Get assistance or coaching to help you through this post-separation adjustment so that you can have the healthiest family and future possible. If you like the video, hit the like button. It's an anonymous way you can help more people see this video and get this information. And even share this video with other people you might know that can benefit from this type of information. Thank you.